Alright, so now we're on to solving three-part inequalities. So three-part inequalities is basically two inequalities put together. So for example, 4 is less than x plus 2 is less than or equal to 8. So this is really two inequalities together. I mean, if you want, I can take this piece and write it as an inequality. So that's 4 is less than x plus 2. And then this one here is the other inequality. So that's the x plus 2 is less than 8. So again, this type of setup is looking for the intersection. So where they share the same values to make it true. So in this case, let's go ahead and rewrite this again. Okay, and this time we will just solve it all together. So in this case, I need to get rid of the adding 2, which is with the x. So I'm going to go minus 2, and I'm going to do it to both the left side and the right side and the middle. So now we have 4 minus 2, which is 2. And then we have x less than, and 8 minus 2 is 6. So now I see this is my solution. All the numbers that are just bigger than 2 and up to all the numbers that are just under 6. And so I could draw my number line. Okay, I'll put 0 here. 2 is 1, 2, and 6 is 3, 4, 5, 6. So since they both are less than and no equal sign, that would mean it's a parentheses and a parentheses, and then they join. So this is where the solution actually is. And so I could write the interval notation now. I can say, oh, that's parentheses 2, comma 6, parentheses, from smallest to largest, and not going to either numbers. It stops just before it gets to those two numbers. And this is a compound inequality written as a three-part inequality. Okay, let's take a look at another one a little bit more complicated. Let's say we have negative 5 halves, and that's less than 1 minus x all over 2, and that's less than 4. Okay, let's make it equal. That way we have something different there. Okay, so we want to solve this for x, and so I'm going to have to multiply by 2 because this is all divided by 2. So that's my first step, is to multiply by 2, because the opposite is on this is the division. So I'm going to multiply by 2 here, and I'm going to multiply by 2 here, and I'm going to multiply by 2 here. So the 2 is over 1, so these cancel each other, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Then we have 2 divided by 2, which gives us the 1, to give us just 1 minus x. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Then we're going to minus 1 from both sides, left and right. As we get negative 4 is less than negative 8, which is less than 7, because 8 minus 1 is 7. And now I have to divide by the negative 1 to get rid of the negative. And because I'm dividing, and it was a negative here, my inequalities switch. So I get 4 is greater than x, which is greater than or equal to negative 7. So there is my inequality. So now if I drew a number line, okay, then it means that I have 0. 7 is the smallest because it's negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it would be a bracket. And x is all greater than them. And then here's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a parentheses because it's not included. There's no equal sign. And so my solution is in between here. So tells me my interval notation has to be bracket negative 7, comma 4 parentheses. And this is just another example of a three-part inequality combined. And how you show the graphs and how you show the interval notation.